and technical support, we are ready for the next one.
Hello, and thank you so much for all details you have told us about the climate. I'm from Pakistan, and my country has experienced a real horror this year, a huge flood. I can confirm that climate collapse, it is not somewhere, it is already happening. It's chaos. It should not go on like this. It needs to be solved. And thank you for your report and your work. In the climatic part of your report, you have mentioned a parallel about the Earth and the Mars. You said that the Earth would become like Mars. What does it have to do with Earth and the Mars? Why you make such parallel? Thank you.
May I answer this question? Thank you so much for being with us here today, and I hope that we will come together and do our best to make sure that disasters like the one in Pakistan don't happen again. And thank you so much for your question. You asked why we're drawing parallels with Mars. The thing is that according to remote sensing studies, there used to be rivers, seas, and a very dense atmosphere on Mars. The red color of rocks on Mars indicates this. The surface of Mars consists mostly of basalt, which is usually black. But on Mars, basalts are covered with iron oxide, in other words, rust, which is what gives the planet its characteristic red hue. There had to be a very dense oxygenated atmosphere to oxidize that much basaltic lava, but now it's gone. Have you ever thought why the entire planet is covered in oxidized basaltic lava? Why were there so many eruptions? Mars is a planet that perished during a cycle of cataclysms. Now it has virtually no magnetic field and a very weak gravitational field, while the atmosphere was blown away by the solar wind. And as you already understand, the core of Mars is practically not functioning now. There was a hydraulic impact inside the planet, and when volatile gases were escaping the magma during eruptions, they oxidized metals in the basalts. Now we realize that the processes taking place on Earth are the same as there were on Mars. Because of the processes in the Earth's core, its displacement and destabilization, the planet's rotation is accelerating, which increases the centrifugal force. This pushes magma from the depths closer to the crust, and magma starts boiling during its ascent. Cavitation explosions build up in it. Magma increases in volume and presses harder on the Earth's crust. The crust begins to crack and heat up while magma erodes and thins it out, and Siberia is a very good example of this. The temperature there rises 3 to 4 times faster than in the rest of the world. In Siberia, the permafrost is melting from below and water is boiling in wells. Meanwhile, the fires started breaking out from under the snow in the Arctic. And you know, there is no other team in the world that would look at the climate problem so comprehensively from all angles as we have been doing for a long time. 8 years ago, we published a short report with a prediction of the events, and now the prediction is coming true completely. Unfortunately, everything confirms our mathematical model. Double-check this information, and you will get the same results as we did. And we analyzed it very comprehensively, and we would be more than happy if somebody disapproved our model. We would be happy because we are not interested in our model becoming true. We are sane people. The anthropogenic model gives a false hope that something can be changed and sooner than 50 years, but we are just wasting time, while the CO2-based model has absolutely nothing to do with reality. CO2 will increase anyway as a result of magma ascent. You understand that, right? So, you know, I absolutely cannot understand why scientists didn't see this and why they only talk about CO2. The only explanation is either they've been bought to trade CO2 quotas, or they're actually really afraid because they don't see any solutions. But we do have a solution. We already have some groundwork. We have the understanding, but we won't be able to stop the destabilization of the core on our own. We need a huge number of smart people to deal with this challenge. If we had even a slightest doubt that it is possible, we would be living this life differently now. We would enjoy every sunset and sunrise, every breath. We would be with our loved ones right now, every second. But we are confident that there is a way out. Throughout this time, we've been actively trying to reach out to humanity, but we're faced with a huge inertia among people. You know, I never would have thought it would be so hard to save humanity. We encounter a huge number of inert people. They don't know how much time is left, and so they are so not in a hurry. That's why it's so crucial to get the information about progression of all these processes to every person on the planet. This is why this is the only way. Otherwise, this simply will not have time to do anything. And this is why the Creative Society project was initiated 2.5 years ago to convey this information to people. However, it's impossible to reach billions without the help of mass media. That's why we appeal to all people who want to leave, who want their grandchildren and great-grandchildren to leave. We cannot stop the climate process ourselves, and we cannot reach out to everyone either. There's no point in relying on politicians to agree or and do something. We need to act now. We need people to start talking about it themselves. We have a chance to leave a planet as a dead Mars, but we also have a chance to preserve the planet. Do you know what really concerns me? It's the Mariana Trench. Remember, we earlier said that there is a forecast of a magnitude 10 earthquake near the Mariana Trench. Several independent groups of seismologists have given this forecast that the Nankai in Japan will experience this earthquake in the next 5-10 years. This is scary not only because it threatens to kill 140 million people living in the Japanese archipelago. It's much more dangerous than that. It's so frightening because the Nankai Tuff is located on the same single fault with the Mariana Trench. And along this fault, there are more deep focus earthquakes, which we already know are cavitation explosions. And the most intense seismic activity is now occurring in the Mariana Trench itself. In 2017, there were more than 2,000 earthquakes in the Mariana Trench within half a year. After this, the information about seismicity there was covered up. These earthquakes indicate that microfractures are actively forming there now, meaning that the magma, by making its way through, forms a tremendous number of fractures. And with each earthquake, there are more and more new fractures formed, which bring closer the contact of 11 kilometers of ocean water with magma. Already now, the water at the bottom of the Mariana Trench is heating up. The temperature at the bottom reaches 4 degrees Celsius, while the average temperature of the ocean depth is just above zero. Guess why the ocean temperature at the bottom of the Mariana Trench is rising and seismic activity is increasing? That's right, because the magma is sent. The magma chamber has been there for a long time, but the growth of seismic activity suggests that magma is expanding. As we already understand, Taiwan Peninsula and everywhere else, the problems begin to arise as well. And right now, as we speak, the oceanic water is making its way to magma along the new fractures that are formed as a result of earthquakes there. This is a fairly rapid process, and today we as humankind are unable to stop this process. This is a fact that we've been living with for more than 10 years, and starting today, you will have to live with it too, because now you also understand that this is really an apocalyptic doomsday bomb with a clockwork mechanism. Every second of our inaction diminishes our chances for salvation. And as we said, according to our mathematical calculations, the Mariana Trench will explode in October 2036. plus or minus 1 month. And after October 2036, our Earth will become very similar to Mars. For this very reason, we compared Mars to Earth. So thank you very much for your attention.